We are now a community of more than 3.5 thousand. Gracias a todos ustedes who have already subscribed, and if you haven't yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can join la comunidad and see todos mis videos en el futuro. We all know that English has a bunch of different dialects that can sometimes even sound like completely different languages.
Well, there was 45 sheep missing, like, in the lambs and always in the sheep. Just count out a nice bit of money, like.
Well, so does Spanish. When I took classes in school, I was never really taught that there are different dialects, which is a real shame. The way that Spanish is taught in the United States school system is based off of the way that Spanish is spoken in Spain. That's because that version of Spanish is considered the most correct. Just like the Queen's English is considered the most correct version of English. So you wouldn't go to school to learn Ebonics. You also wouldn't go to school to learn like Dominican or Colombian Spanish. It's always based off of Spain. So I was pretty surprised when I learned about Caribbean Spanish and how it's so different from the Spanish that's taught in textbooks. So now I want to help you understand the pros and cons of picking a Spanish dialect, and then I'm also going to show you what some of the different Spanish dialects sound like around the world. If you've already tuned into my channel before, then you probably already know that I love the Dominican Spanish dialect. Focusing on learning that dialect skyrocketed my Spanish abilities. There's really only one con to learning a specific Spanish dialect, so let's just start there. It's a little bit more work. So to learn a dialect, you have to learn how they specifically speak and how they use shortcuts and slang to communicate. But it's also incredibly important that you learn how to communicate without slang. Just like in English, black people speak some level of Ebonics, but we all also know synonyms for the slang that we use so that we can also communicate with people who ain't black. There are so many different Hispanics, and if you can't communicate outside of your regional slang, you're going to be creating your own language barriers. So you're going to need to learn the basic Spanish plus your dialect's regional slang. So although I know the Dominican dialect, I also know many just basic Spanish words that I can use to communicate with people who don't understand the Dominican dialect. So keep that in mind. That one con may feel pretty big, but here are all the pros to learning a Spanish dialect. When you're learning a language, the best thing you can do is imitate what you hear. That's why singing along to music works so well, because that's all you're doing. You're imitating what you hear. So if I wanted to learn American English, I wouldn't listen to British TV and try to imitate that, because I'd be imitating something that I don't really want. It's the same with Spanish. So by picking a dialect, you can make sure that you're imitating how you actually want to sound. Mexico owns a lot of the produced content like TV shows. So knowing the dialect that you want to hear can actually help you narrow that search down. So for me, I can specifically search for Dominican movies, Dominican TV shows, Dominican news stations, etc. to help me narrow down all of the massive amount of things that I'm going to find on the internet to find the things that specifically interest me. If you happen to also be interested in the Dominican Spanish dialect, I have a different video where I give you a list of different resources that you can use to help you learn, so you can check that video out after this one. By learning the Dominican Spanish dialect, I've been able to learn so much more than just their way of speaking. I've learned about their culture, food, music, the country's infrastructure, political system, education system, religions, and just so much more. My Spanish knowledge goes beyond just a language and includes an entire culture. So when I actually get to speak with Dominicans, we have so much more to talk about, and they feel that I truly am a member of their community and they welcome me as such. Trust me when I say it is so worth it to learn about a culture and not just a language. If you find a dialect to focus on, your passion for Spanish will skyrocket and you will be even more motivated to learn. Just listening to the Dominican dialect was motivating to me because I was like, oh man, I would love to be able to speak and understand this dialect. As I learned more and more about Dominican people and culture, I became as passionate for La República Dominicana as I am for my home country because I feel so connected to them and their culture. That passion will push you through times of doubt and frustration, and trust me, you will need that. So those are the reasons that I believe you should pick a Spanish dialect. So here are some examples of some different Spanish dialects. Let me know in the comments which one you're most interested in learning.
¿Qué hace, viejo? ¿Cómo anda? ¿Vos sabés que con respecto a eso, ese comentario, todo el mundo pensó que yo tuve algo con la hermana del chabón? Nada, nada. Nosotros, no es que por ser camioneros donde llegamos tun, tan, tun. No, no, nada que ver, nada que ver.
Extraña, carita feliz. Ah, boludo, cuando quiero soy tierna. Me sale lo tierna, ¿entendés? Ajá, bueno, me voy a hacer noni.
Hombre, escúchenme. Cuando tu mujer te manda un mensaje, tenemos que hablar. Tú sabes que esos mensajes te ponen que no te dejan dormir. ¿Qué vas a hacer tú? Le mandas uno para atrás y le dices, sí, definitivamente tenemos que hablar porque yo no aguantaba más y te lo tengo que decir. Cuando llegue a la casa hablamos. No, hacer que con esos mensajes uno no puede dormir, así los dos se rompen la cabeza, ¿tú me entiendes? Vete para la pinga. No, hacer, búscate otro para que le jodas la vida, déjame tranquilo, mía, hacer. Yo, hacer, dale para la pinga por ahí para allá.
Diablo, pero yo estoy bueno, loco, el diablo. Tú me miras y en verdad, se te agua en la boca, Es difícil no enamorarte de mí.
Pero qué maldita vaina del diablo, Dios mío.
¿Es contigo que ella está hablando o es conmigo? No, conmigo no fue, yo creo que fue contigo.
Ay, lo que yo más odio, que se me pierdan las cosas en mi misma casa. ¡Diabloso! ¡Dios Padre!
No, pero ahora sí estoy confundido yo. San Pedro, ven acá, ¿es ahí de abajo o es a mí que ella le está hablando? Hoy es mi primer día de trabajo aquí, ¿qué voy a saber yo?
Somebody told me that I had to empty the crumb tray.
¿Es neta? Güey. Es neta. Este es nuevo. Pero si fuera viejo, estuviera lleno de chingadera, porque yo...
Güey, ¿qué pedo con los vatos que tienen un pinche pitito y se le hacen de pedo a su vieja diciéndole, es que no te sabes mover? Si se mueve, se sale, bebé. No le haces ni cosquillas, todavía que te hace un pinche favor, sales con tus pinches mamadas, no mames.
Oye, 1 millón de personas han bailado el tema de Dura en la aplicación de Musical.ly. Muchas gracias por ese tipo de amor que me dan, mi gente. Muchas gracias a la gente de Musical.ly que se pasan vacilando. Gracias.
¿Qué pasó, cabrón? Que ya te dije que el próximo juego lo vamos a ganar. Hacho, yo no soy ningún morón. Si no te gustó, mámame el...
Cuando me dicen que para ser TikToker hay que hacer vídeos bailando.
Vale. Para todos los que tenéis vuestras lucecitas en vuestra habitación, que sepáis que es mucho mejor tenerlas en vuestra terracita.
So which dialect are you most interested in? Let me know in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe. Gracias por estar aquí. Hasta la próxima.